Check. Check. Alright, looks good. I think we're live. Just going to check over here. Oh, it says... Oh, there we go. Check. Yeah, it looks like we're good. Alright, we'll flip out of that for a second. Hit the tweets, and then we're going to just go and see if we can play 2 games tonight. I don't have a lot of time before it's bedtime. We had a birthday today. That went pretty well. But yeah, here's the deck. Kind of made some adjustments. One of the things I think that we really want is we wanted a 1-drop, and we wanted also to have our charges a lot earlier. So I went ahead and added some charge bots. So I'm trying that out to see if that's good or if that's bad. Some of the other things that are interesting about the deck is that most of our Runier Hierophants or Hierophants cannot be blocked by less than its power, and then sacrificed to make them bigger. So just like JJ's deck, it's like Jajim Jedi's deck. But one of them has to have a different minor gem, because we can only have 4 of the same gem in the deck. So there's a minor blood orb of an intimidation on a different troop, and instead I went with the crush on there because I felt like that was a good choice. So that other intimidation is over here on the Gallows Gas, because this becomes a giant fireball in the end game, and plus it has speed, so we really don't want it to be blocked. And yeah, it just kind of comes in at the end. I'm not sure if I want Yakuzan. I actually haven't drawn him that often, but he can put the entirety of all of our Dreadlings back into play, which is really what Monsoon is in here for. So you got to play 4 Monsoon in this deck. Another choice I went back and forth on. I had 3 Emerites in here, and this feels like a card that I want to have kind of mid to later in the game, where I draw it and then play it. And because I already have Dreadlings coming into play, it just ticks away at my opponent's life total while keeping me somewhat healthy. And I can play more of those after boarding for the burn decks. Of course, I've got the Carnosaurus as well, and the classic Cluckodon for the burn matchups. A 4th Hero Fall for playing against people with threats I need to remove. Inquisition mostly for the control matchups, but I think that I may actually want to play the Spider one that costs 3 instead, just because it puts more dudes into my deck. 2 Extinction for, I don't know, anything with big troops that I don't want to deal with. So typically your wild matchups and that sort of thing. And then Nature's Reigns is just an all-around good artifact / constant piece of removal. I'm not sure if I need it in the format right now. Paw of Yakuzan does a lot of the same job of the Nature's Reigns and the Hero Fall, but it of course does it at basic action speed. Another card that seems like it's really good in the format right now for this deck particularly is Grim Justice, because it gets rid of the 2-drop that's out there. The I forget what his name is. The new wild 2-drop that everybody's playing. Where is he? I was thinking about playing him in here actually. No, I'm not seeing him. Anyways, it kills that guy. Oh yeah, here we go. Might Singer. It kills Might Singer, which is pretty cool. And then it brings back a lot of our 2-drops. All our spiders are 2-drops. And then it brings back like things like Sensei to draw a card, or the Botanist to make more dudes. So it has a couple of targets, and we can use it to resurrect those things even without that. So I think as a one-of, it's a fairly reasonable card. One of the things I may be pulling back though is this guy, because I realize that it says sacrifice as a troop, so maybe he's not as good as I thought that he was. There are some situations in which he doesn't do very much for us when our opponent has a ton of stuff, and he's just like, I think I'll just sacrifice something that I don't really care about. So we'll see how we do here. Okay, so we are playing our Dreadlings deck. Of course, we've got the Hierophant here, which gets bigger every time we play those extra Dreadlings as well. Okay, so this is the Exhaust My Dudes deck. And maybe it's in Sapphire as well. Not a good start to the evening, so we'll obviously have to replace that. A single shard is not acceptable. This is okay, so we'll keep this. Give our opponent a GLHF. I'm so low that, you know, if I lose, I'm not really that miffed by it. Okay, so this is the Ruby Diamond deck that I've heard a bit about. I guess that's another good thing about ChargeBot is I can chump off things a little bit more easily with it. So I want to save these as long as I can because they can actually get pretty big with our we have a constant in the deck that can actually buff the front end of those 0-1 battle hoppers. So yeah, although we may end up playing it so we can play turn 2 Sensei depending on how aggressive this deck is, but I'll definitely make this chump block. I mean, it's like, seems like it's worse for him than me. We have turn 2, oh yeah, and we have turn 2 Monsoon, so that's kind of a big deal. We can go turn 2 Monsoon into turn 3 Sensei. That's kind of a big deal for this deck. So we'll go ahead and make this chump block. So yeah, Monsoon is kind of like the big key piece to this deck, and this is my first time playing with charge bots, so getting to those early charge bots is kind of a big deal. I really love this guy. I think that he's going to be really good in the format, so we'll see how he picks up for us. So we need the blood here. Yeah, I need this now, so we're going to go and get our blood for Monsoon. We'll take 4 damage because he's got a... actually, we'll take 3 and then he'll make it Valorous. That's right. It doesn't give him Valor right away for the hero legend. But yeah, that could be an issue later on. The nice thing is we get to chump it off with a Sensei and draw 2 cards with Monsoon. So the Monsoon Sensei combo is very strong with us. And next turn we don't get to produce our thing just yet, but it will be coming. This is kind of like one of those decks. It almost feels like a combo deck because we just kind of come through all at the same time at the end. And Gust Mage. And Valor, this guy? No, he's going to wait till it's time to attack. Okay. So we need double blood for this deck, so we'll play double blood here. Kind of a big deal. And then Monsoon's going to go ahead and make it so that when this guy dies, he'll come back. So on the attack, we'll go ahead and block maybe his Valorous Troop, maybe his Valiant Escort. Maybe we'll make the trade there. We'll probably just, yeah, we'll just go ahead and make that trade and take 3, possibly 4. He can also Valor this guy up. I guess if he Valors this guy, then we just chump as much damage as we can here. Or we can always use our Hierophant to sack this guy. We can always wait and do that as well. I mean, but taking 7 damage is a lot here. Yeah. So let's see. Making a 5/5 to stop incoming damage seems fairly relevant here. I think I take 7 here. And then sacrifice this guy next turn. So that way I can make a 5/5. So we'll do that. That way I'm only taking... take 1 in the sky and then 3 on the ground because he'll have, well, 4. Yeah, 3 on the ground. So, looks like we may be losing here. We're not going fast enough, possibly. This deck's quick, that's for sure. I haven't played against this one yet. Yeah, we gotta get something going. We don't have guys to sacrifice to this guy, and we also don't want to pull them out of our crypt because we want to get the guy back with Monsoon. So, yeah, we're kind of not in a great spot here. We might be a little bit too slow for this onslaught that we're taking, this beating that we're taking. So he Valors this guy, We just basically block as much damage as we can with our Hierophant. That's all we can do here. We didn't draw any of our removal. We have a lot of removal. I mean, I guess we have this Ambusher, but he's a little bit slow for this situation. He can handle at least this guy, or his flyer. I mean, we'd probably take this guy out. But it's not looking good. He can Valor his whole field, and it just keeps swinging away. Yep, this guy's powerful. We also mulled to 6, so that also doesn't help very much in this matchup. He knows what this is. I mean, if he knows anything about the game, he already knows what this guy is. So yeah, we just kind of block the most damage we can. So we'll block his Hero of Legend. Although he guess he could Valor him again, and then we can't block him because we need to keep this guy in play. It's looking pretty bad. It was going random. It's looking pretty bad for us right now, right off the bat. That's pretty sweet, that little combo, because he can Valor up this guy, and then, yeah. We really want to kill this Hero of Legend. That's kind of a big deal for us in this deck. So I guess we'll just block as much damage as we can. Take 5, 6, 7, 8. Go to 4. Yep, it looks pretty bad. I think this is a good example of an extinction. We want extinction versus this deck because we can just really blow him out here because he just runs out of bodies and there's a problem. Yeah, I think we're just too slow for this deck, unfortunately. I can scrounge my Sensei, but I really need to draw a card with him. I can't play this guy to kill anything. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're just dead on board here. Because I can set up this guy for the block. Can block. Still take 3. I guess I can live for a turn. I can live for a turn by playing this guy. It seems pretty bad. There's no way I can do 25 damage all in one turn, and I can't stop his flyer right now, so yeah. Oh boy. Excellent start to this. But we definitely want extinction in this matchup because, like I said, like most of what he has in his hand at this point is Valors. He's got a large hand, but most of it's Valor. Or maybe, yeah, see, you can see he just keeps playing the Valor. Just keep buffing him up. Oh, actually, he's got too much damage now on board. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's too much damage. I'm gonna pass the priority on everything. Pass all priorities. So I guess I just block the most damage I can. Take 5 anyways and lose. Not a great start to the night. Okay. So we just want tons of removal here. He's got 1-drop, so we can actually play Cluckodons for removal. We can play Carnosaurus for removal. Another Hero Fall. I don't know that I need Inquisition. His stuff's pretty quick. And then Extinction seems pretty good here. And let's see. What do I not want too much of? Probably this guy doesn't do very much here. Seems pretty bad as removal. The Dormant one, we could probably cut those down. This is the one that's going to buff all our troops. We need to actually kill his stuff. Basically, we just want to keep the kill spells in the early game. And, yeah, maybe even get rid of our Dread Factory here. And we kind of got stifled on resources there. Grim Justice seems fine. The Emerite is probably not that good here. We could pull it down to 1. And we keep Monsoon because that's like part of like a cornerstone of the deck. The Botanist is kind of a big deal. Oh, you know what? I need to change these guys to blocks flyers. That's what it is. Yeah, we're going to change this Intimidation to Skyguard Steadfast on each one of these. Oh no, we got to do this quickly. Oh my gosh. This is always like the thing where it's like, oh my gosh, we got to do this so fast. Okay. And I still have my, okay, close. I have 2 cards I need to get rid of. Maybe that guy and my Paw of Yakuzan, because it seems slow. Okay, we'll just maybe if we get a round 3, then we might swap some more things around. But yeah, the Paw of Yakuzan might be a little bit too slow for this. But yeah, we just need to be able to kill stuff. We didn't get hardly any of our, like, we got removal, but it was just too slow. This is much better. We'll keep this. And mulling to 6 is always good for us. And open up with a charge bot. And we can play our Shard of the Ancients, and then turn 2. And we actually have enough that we actually can get our Dread Banner in play this time, which is always nice. And we've got Hero Fall if he plays his key troop again. So we really want to just save this for the right troop. Oh boy, so here we go. The decisions that need to be made. I want to play this guy. So I think I have to play this for Wild here. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and play this for Wild. I would have rather played this for a Battle Hopper, but we'll do that and swing in and then play our Sensei. I'm really liking the charge bot in here. As a 3 of, I think it's fine. We can pull it back if we need to. But getting that Dread Banner out quickly is important. Oh, and there we go. There's Monsoon to set us up. I already feel like I'm somewhat ahead. Yeah, and we can play Monsoon next turn too, which is pretty sweet. This guy, when he attacks, everyone gets bigger for the turn. Yeah. So when he attacks, he's a bit bigger. I don't think I need a Hero Fall that guy. Let's go ahead and play this for blood. And we'll play our Monsoon and then just stick on the board, and I'll trade dudes. I'll double block here. Well, I guess that trades my whole field away, but we'll see what happens here. Taking 3, is that okay? It might be okay for us to take 3. That's fine, I think. We'll just do that. This gives us stuff fodder in our crypt too that we can use later, which I'm okay with. Alright, so here's where the tricks come in, right? So we only need 1 wild threshold for the deck and only 2 blood, so this is definitely going to make us a Battle Hopper, which will get our Monsoon token. And then we can play our Hierophant to sacrifice to this guy. Oh, I forgot I changed him. Oh yeah, we do. Oh, never mind. I did not change him. I did not change that part, the sacrifice. So I still get the sacrifice. I can still play the Dread Banner. And I can play a charge bot here to pump up my Hierophant just a little bit more. And if he kills him, he's coming back. That Hierophant's coming back. So it's pretty sweet. And we've got Hero Fall. Plus, every Dreadling I play now is coming back. Alright, this is definitely a Hero Fall target. Yeah. Oh, it's going to make 2 flyers, but that's fine. I've got flying protection now. Oh, and I can eat one with a Carnosaurus anyways. So yeah, we'll go ahead and Hero Fall this guy. He's got 4 of them in the deck anyways, for sure. So we get really good value there. Alright. Okay, let's see if there's any other changes I wanted to make here. I definitely wanted those guys out. I wanted definitely one of those. I feel like I kind of want the Ambusher, but maybe not. Maybe it's too slow. This is an ends game thing. I mean, these might be too slow, but at the same time, they do well. I feel like they'll do well. I feel like I still want at least one of these. It does fly, and it blocks really well. The Unbound one is one of those things that it does fly, and it buffs the whole field. I kind of want one of these Ambushers back. I want the Ambusher back, I think. Inquisition I don't think is useful. I think the right choice was taking out Paw. I think that's a good choice there. I definitely want all of my hero fall. What do I pull out? Maybe Alkalite. Either that or Yakuzan or Gallusgast. One of those 3 cards. Probably the Gallusgast, actually. Yeah. Okay, and then let's make sure. Just because if my opponent's ahead, he does nothing for me. I mean, he'll close the game out, but yeah, and then I can, yeah, all these guys. So this one that's crushed needs to be Skyguard. We need to have Skyguard on these. Steadfast Skyguard for all of his tiny little flyers, so that way they won't get around me. All right, this seems good. We'll stick with this. So, bad game into a pretty good game for us. We just kind of had a lot of, you know, board presence last time. We also have Extinction if things get really hairy. And the thing about Extinction and playing troop decks that you always have to remember is that people say it's bad, right? They say that, oh, you don't want to play Extinction because that's counterintuitive. Well, the thing is, I choose when to Extinction, so I always... I'm going to make the decision on when the extinction is going to happen, not my opponent. There's times when it does put you at a bad position, but for the most part, it's not a bad thing. All right, so we're obviously going blood here. We've got double Hierophant, which seems pretty solid. He does get a resource here, which is going to put him pretty far ahead of us to start the game out. So that might put us at a bad place, but we do have we have a Hero Fall and a Grim Justice that can handle a lot of the different cards that he can throw at us too. So that might be good enough. We'll see. I typically like to prioritize blood with this deck. Okay, there's a good target. That's a fairly good target. And I do have a play here, so I'll play this for wild, and I still have blood plays. So yeah, I just drew my play. This guy's gonna just absorb some damage off of that guy. Create Valor, put it in your hand. Okay, so we get the Valor off of this guy when he comes into play. I don't know. If this Ardent Crusader has always just felt suboptimal to me. It's just kind of It's a 4/4 body for 3. Okay, and it makes some phantoms. I guess that's kind of nice too. But, I mean, it is a lot of damage. It's 5 damage. There's nothing to sneeze at that I have to deal with. And he could possibly, like, burn this guy, I guess. Which I guess could feel kind of bad. Make the blocks here. In fact, I could probably sacrifice this guy to my Hierophant and not really worry about it too much if I have to, but I shouldn't have to with the lily pad. We'll see. Seals damage, 1 for each damage dealt. That's kind of bad. Okay, Carnosaurus seems really good here. This guy gives me a resource? Oh, he gives me a resource. Oh, you know, maybe I should be playing more of these. I did not know that. Okay, I can Carnosaurus this guy and wait to Hero Fall this guy. And play this for a dude? No, I don't think I need the dude. I want the blood on this, and then I can play this for a dude. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and get our blood now. Yeah, I just don't want him to kill the Battle Hopper or have something happen where he kills the Battle Hopper. I think that's my... Oh, you know what? I need a double wild for this. That's a play mistake. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to have to Hero Fall that guy and take some damage here. Is it to the opponent's, to an opposing champion? So I can still block this guy off. But he is going to get bigger and bigger as well. Okay, so play mistake there on the Carnosaurus. Play mistakes there on the Carnosaurus. Cool thing is, if he kills my Carnosaurus, I can actually bring it back with Grim Justice. That's kind of neat. So yeah, we're definitely blocking the voice of the Ashwood, and then we'll Carnosaurus it next turn. Oh, he's going to martyr my guy. How rude. Okay, well, I guess that's good for me, because now Carnosaurus gets bigger to deal with this guy. I'm staying up till 10 o'clock, which is in 18 minutes. So that actually helps out me kill his Carnosaurus. Unfortunately, I can't, or kill his voice of the Ashwood. Unfortunately, I can't. Okay, so we want to get wild here. We definitely want wild. We're going to go wild here. We've gone wild. Unfortunately, we can't play both the Hierophant and the Carnosaurus here, but yeah, we're definitely taking one of those out. We're just kind of trying to stabilize at this point. I'm not worried about his flyers because my Hierophants can block them stock. But and now I have a blocker for, yeah, his Voice of the Ashwood. So hopefully I'll just take phantom damage here and then start playing Hierophants, and he'll be in bad shape. Oh, that's not good for me. Let's see. Does this put it in play or put it in my hand? Puts it back into play. So if he happens to kill my Carnosaurus somehow, then I can actually bring it back into play and kill one of his guys. This is another situation where if I extinction, I'm in pretty good shape. Oh, here we go. So we definitely want that. And we'll go ahead and do this first, so that way when we play our Hierophants, if he kills them, we can still deal with what he's doing. I do not want to sacrifice Carnosaurus. I can sacrifice it to the other one if I draw a shard and then play it to kill something. So, but I don't think I want to do it right now. Yeah, we'll just, he's fine at a 3/3. We can block everything we need to block. I don't need to attack here. We're just trying to stabilize. We've got Dread Banners making dudes, which eventually Monsoon's going to bring all of them back. So, and they're making our Hierophant bigger every turn too. So he should really want to kill our Hierophant at this point. But again, it depends. He could still tempo us out here. Again, extinction would be optimal. Feels bad. Oh, okay. Sure. I will kill the 2/2 and take one. I would think that would feel pretty bad for him. No, look, it's a 2/2. Oh, and we can do the thing. So, yeah, we stabilized him out there, and that's why he gave up. Okay, I think I might have enough time for one more game here, so we'll see how we can do. And I'll go over. I'll see if I have time to go over the deck after this one more time. This is the deck I'm looking at playing this weekend for the 5K, by the way. So I'm either gonna play this or one of the decks that everybody else is playing. But I'm excited to play this deck instead because nobody seems to be playing Dreadlings at the higher levels that I'm seeing, or like people haven't said that Dreadlings are good enough for tier 1 play, and I was thinking, well, there's a chance that we could find something. It just has to match up well against JJ's deck and the Mono Ruby deck, and then there's a couple outliers and other things, and I feel like it's pretty good against Control because as long as we can get everything online, if Control can't deal with our constants, then we just keep playing more Dreadlings, and then if we play a Monsoon, it's buried, it's tunneled, and so they have to counter it when it comes into play. So, yeah. Yeah, Dreadlings, it feels like there's definitely a lot of things. Another one I've thought about is trying to go Blood Sapphire and play Dwarves with Dreadlings and play some sort of Dwarf aggro with the typical like Dwarf shell from Sapphire that we saw before, where it's very low shard count with Dreadlings because they are robots. But I'm not sure what that would look like right now. Okay, so here's a Control matchup. This should be pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and go first. GLHF. So in this matchup, we want actually less removal because he's going to have less targets for us. We're fine with this hand. We're going to keep this. We don't have a turn 1 play, so we'll play our Shard of the Ancients for Blood. Again, prioritizing Blood in this deck. Starting out with that, of course. And then we have our turn 2 Botanist, which is a solid play for this deck. If anything, Botanist at least is going to put some fodder in our crypt that we can use later on. This deck is one of those where, like, if it goes past turn 8 or 9, then we probably lose. So we kind of do need to play somewhat quickly. We have to keep some sort of pace. I'll go ahead and play this for double blood here, because I want to prioritize blood again. And we'll play the Botanist. We get to swing for 2 with it next turn, which is nice. 2 with one with the Dreadling and one with itself if it's an open board state. And we can play a second Botanist and a Charge Bot. It seems fairly strong. Oh, that's great. That was a great rip right there. The Wild Shard to complete what we need to play the deck. I don't need to play these yet. I won't have enough to play the banner until next turn, so we'll just go ahead and do our attack phase, and then second main phase, we'll go ahead and dump these out there. If he's playing Inquisition, he's probably going to be in bad shape because he's not going to have a lot of great choices of things that I'm playing. This would have been a best case scenario. This would have been Monsoon would have been the best thing to have drawn here, but Death's Head Rider probably doesn't do very much in this matchup. I mean, I guess if he plays a vampire or something. So there's the Monsoon we were looking for. So we'll go ahead and play the Monsoon here first. We'll play the Lily Pad to put a Battle Hopper into play, so at least that'll come back when he extinctions next turn. And then we've got our Dread Banner, which we can also put into play. And then we're going to swing away for 5. And Dormant 1, yeah, maybe we should have done that. Yeah, we should have actually played Dormant 1 there, maybe over Monsoon. So, yeah, if he extinctions here, then yeah, that was kind of a misplay on the Dormant 1, but that's fine. We can now Death's Head Rider any vampire he plays, so that's something. I'll go ahead and play the Dormant 1. You can't counter here. I'll go ahead and play this for Wild, I guess. Not that it matters. So we don't have anything with double Wild in there. And we just go ahead and play these, and then eventually Monsoon's going to pull back all these Dreadlings all at the same time, which will be pretty exciting. And then Dormant's 1 is going to buff them, so the next time it's going to be a 2-1. Also, it's indestructible. The Dormant 1's indestructible, so he'll probably have a hard time with that and being just blood. Now he's got his Sapphire Threshold. He's Inquisitioning out my Death's Head Rider. So that probably doesn't feel too good for him. He's 1 away from being able to counter my Monsoon. We have to keep playing our shards. Just kind of automatic here. Just kind of autopilot. Swing it on in there. Next time it's 3. He has to counter this Monsoon, I'd say. So he really needs another Sapphire here. He's digging for another Sapphire. He's got 2 turns to find one. Well, he's got 1 turn to find one. Yeah, he's got... Nope, doesn't have it that time. The Exarch doesn't matter that much. It does stop Monsoon, but it won't stop all the Dreadlings that are going to come into play. And I really don't care too much about all of his spiders. Oh, he does happen to get a spider, though. And that's going to help with Monsoon. That's a nice little combo again. And there's our Paw. And we'll go ahead and scrounge. Let's see, we make sure we scrounge the right ones. 3 of these Dreadlings. I know. Actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to keep the Dreadlings in case I draw Yakuzan late, and get rid of Charge Bot and my Botanist because they're dead anyways. So actually, I'll get rid of. Actually, I'm going to get rid of Death's Head Rider and both my Botanist because if Charge Bot comes back, that helps me play more stuff. So yeah. Get rid of that guy and these guys, and then charge bot will come back, possibly if I draw Yakuzan, but more chances at other things, and I will kill that Exarch. So I want it to not be able to deal with this guy very easily. And again, great thing is if he sweeps or if he kills this paw of Yakuzan, it comes back and it does its thing all over again. And we've got our Unbound one for tons of damage, so he needs to do something here. If he sweeps, we're in good shape. We're in good shape. If we swing with this, it reverts back, so we do have to be careful about that. But yeah, so he knew Monsoon comes and it doesn't matter, right? So yeah, that's pretty good. So we probably Inquisition for all of his card draw. We don't care too much about removal here. We could probably take our Hero Falls down, and this seems like a good way to also finish the game out, so I'm actually going to pull another one of those. Extinction seems pretty bad here. I'm not sure if he's running any constants where I need Nature Reigns just yet, so I'm going to keep those back. So we need to get 5 cards out of here. We probably want the Gallows Gas and other stuff. We need the early game. The Dread Factory's good. That's hard for him to deal with. The Dormant one's really good. So probably Death's Head Rider is pretty bad for us. The Hero Fall is probably less necessary, and maybe an Ambusher. Maybe Grim Justice. Well, Grim Justice resurrects a guy, so maybe I want to keep that. I'm trying to think if I want to get rid. I'd probably get rid of Ambusher here. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably the play here. Yeah, I probably need to be playing more of these because it creates a temporary resource every turn. There's just so much that you have to do when you're theory crafting stuff, especially if you're the only one playing the deck. It's like, what do I do? What's good? What's not good? And you only have so much time. I mean, I've put maybe, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 hours into this deck. Maybe that's not really enough time to accurately get a good gauge on if it's going to be good or not. So this is pretty bad. I like it though because it's going to get me my Dread banner, so we're going to keep it, and you'll see what happens. And we get our early charge bot, so he can easily counter or eat out our Yakuzan. And then we got Inquisition. So because we have Inquisition, instead of playing the early charge bot, we have to Inquisition on turn 2. So we're going to play Blood for a well, and then Inquisition on turn 2. Now, he played Sapphire first, so he has no chance of Inquisitioning us. So he could have Inquisitioned our Inquisition, but he'd probably go for Yakuzan over that, unless he has 2 Inquisitions, in which case he'd pull our Inquisition, and then the following turn, then he would Yakuzan. Then my Jarman snipes his Jarman, right? And there we go. Now he could counter here, and if he counters, that's fine, because I get a counter out of it. If he's got, Verdict, that's fine. I'm okay with that. It's one less counter. I don't have that many spells in the deck anyways, so. We get double charge bot coming next turn, which is, it's not too bad, because we can actually play our Dread banner next turn then. So turn 3 Dread banner seems pretty good. He's going to Inquisition out our Yakuzan, most likely. No, he gets a charge bot. Interesting. I guess he must have another. Yeah, he either has counter or he has another Inquisition ready. Oh, there's our Hero Fall. That doesn't do much here. So yeah, we have to play our charge bot. And we're getting this Dread banner no matter what. And I don't know that he's got a lot that can deal with that. But it doesn't do very much. Oh, DDR Extreme. Yeah, it's good times. I'm a big DDR fan, of course. So do we Hero Fall the Exarch? I guess we do. Max 300? Yeah, I could do it on the lowest setting, on the basic setting. Which I guess is kind of sad. Let's go ahead and go... wild, I guess. I don't think I have anything double wild in the deck, but hero fall this guy. I definitely need this. Hero fall this guy and play Vile Fang next turn. If he had Inquisition, I think he would have done it again to get our Yakuzan because he knows it's in the deck. And did we got 2 more. So he only has 3 in the deck. And we get a swing in with a charge bot. We really don't have a lot of card draw in here. Well, yeah, everybody fails the first time at max 300. It's been a long time since I've DDR'd. Probably, I think the last time I played DDR was in 2015, maybe, when I was at, what's it called, Gen Con. So what are these new champs? Well, this particular one puts a Dread Banner into play, which is a constant, which puts Dreadlings into play. And Dreadlings are 1/1s that die at the end of the turn, but they're a spider, they are a spider, a shroomkin, and a robot, all in one. So anything that counts those things, they count for. So we'll go and tunnel our Monsoon. I can play the Vile Fang in the second main phase. He has no way to counter here because he's out of resources, and there's no resourceless counter in Hex yet. So I don't have to worry about this guy getting countered. Now, if I draw a resource, I get Yakuzan into play, and with Monsoon backup, that seems really good versus a control deck. So, yeah, I don't like when I was building the deck. I was like, there's just so much resiliency with the Grave that I felt like it didn't matter too much. Like that doesn't matter that much because now I just get a Dreadling anyways, and now that's gonna get on Monsoon. Oh, and I'll play a Botanist here. And that gets on Monsoon as well. And so now I get 2 Dreadlings per turn. And eventually Monsoon just comes into play and I just smash my opponent's face with, like, 70,000 Dreadlings. All at the same time. I think if you're playing Blood and you're not playing at least 3 Monsoon, you're probably doing it wrong. If you're playing this Dreadling. If you're playing Dreadlings and Blood and you're not playing Monsoon, there's probably a problem. Okay, so he's playing Darkheart, which is going to make me sacrifice a troop, but I really don't care too much about that. It's going to sacrifice this guy. Okay, he's going to subtract, so now I have negative front end, but that's fine. I'll take the 4. That's fine. I'm fine with that. This is going to be interesting to see how this triggers. If it triggers the Darkheart first, or if I get my Dreadlings first. Because if I get my Dreadlings first, then I just sack them, and it doesn't matter, right? So we'll see how the triggers work out here. Yeah, so the trigger works out that I sacrifice a Dreadling before I sacrifice the Botanist, which gives me Dreadling anyways. Great. And sure, I'll do that. Next turn we can play Yakuzan, which seems pretty good. And we got Battle Hoppers here. Great. Things look pretty good. I do like this guy in the control deck, the Darkheart. He's really good. So he knows Monsoon's coming in 2 turns. So he needs to have counter. He's got 4 cards. Pretty good chance he has counter. If he does, then he's in better shape than he was. But if I play this Yakuzan next turn, he has to counter that too. So countering 2 cards in 1 turn can be fairly difficult to do. It's going to Hero Fall my Botanist, which gets rid of the rest of my Botanists, which means I have more shards in the deck compared to the spells, but it's still not that bad. So he's going to reduce my power, I guess. But I'm going to kill this guy anyway so I can draw another card off of my Sensei. Because that seems pretty good off of the Monsoon. Okay, so we'll go ahead and sacrifice the Battle Hopper, because that's going to come back with Monsoon anyways. I have another Monsoon, which I'm not going to play here at the start of my turn. Okay, so we'll play this in our second main phase, see if he's got a counter for it. He knows we have Yakuzan. Swing in. Alright, good night, Random. If you guys aren't following Random, you should. She's probably the #1 female Hex player. Just saying. Yeah, everyone should follow. Go over and follow random society. So he needs to counter this. If he doesn't have counter here for this, it's kind of a problem. Unless he has some sort of kill spell. But if he does, then I guess he could kill this and then counter my monsoon. So maybe he's okay. Maybe he's okay. I guess he swings in and then reduces this guy's power. Sure. I can still block his guy, though. So I'll go ahead and do that. I think if he had the kill spell, he would have done it before combat to get the 4 damage in. So I don't think he has the kill spell. He probably is just waiting to counter the monsoon here. Oh, never mind. Non-socketed card. I guess I'll go with a Dreadling. Sure. Now he counters. Okay, so it doesn't even matter. So now I can bury another monsoon and keep the party going. Playing Emerite here too, to kind of close the game out, gain me life and whatever. So when this guy attacks or at the beginning of the turn. I think it's just at the beginning of the turn for that guy. So maybe the start of your turn, a random troop in the crib in the same name. Okay, so I should have just left that guy back. That's what I should have done. So now I'm going to take 4 unnecessarily, but because I need to keep gaining life off of this, so I don't want this guy to die. He's going to draw 2 cards off his Oracle Song. More counters. Seems pretty good for him. Yeah, we're kind of not in great shape if the game's gone this long. So, but we just keep making stuff that's super resilient. I'll take 4 here. Sure, that guy. Why would he hit this guy instead of my Yakuzan? I guess unless he has a kill spell for it. Even if he does. Well, I guess that's off the other monsoon, so okay, so yeah, there he goes. Sure. Just keep gaining so I can get a double Dread Banner? Sure. Keep pushing damage. Eventually Emerite comes back and I get more damage in. Let's pass all priorities and save some time here. Because there's nothing I can do to respond to anything he's doing anyways. Oh, he has his Paragon of Thought to make random spells, so he's got his Psychic Ascension he just played. I'm gonna play that. Swing it on in there. Just keep pushing that damage. Keep making those Dreadlings that come into play with the monsoon. It would be nice to see some more of them, but we should lose this. We'll see what happens. Chaos Gate is void all cards at the start of your turn. Okay. So that's bad for Sensei, because I wanted to draw another card off of him. So I have to hold off on my Dread Banner because of that, so I have to wait a turn, unfortunately. So I'll wait a turn so I can have a Dread Banner in play after this is going to void all of my cards. Yep. Monsoon's still coming. I think he wanted to wait a turn on that, but I don't know. Could be wrong. Got a ton of Dreadlings coming. Counter. No, not this time. Maybe he's got like something else. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Combo-tastic. Well, there you go. There's the Dreadlings that I'm gonna most likely play this weekend. I just gotta laugh about that. You needed the counter there. I don't know if he counters. Does it still trigger Monsoon? Because it seemed to do it before when he countered. I don't know. Maybe I should read Monsoon. Let's see. It's really hard to read him. Let's see. You could tunnel this card, but okay, we do that. Okay, that's just tunneling. Okay, I can't make him any bigger. So when a troop enters play, if he's tunneled, we put the decoy counter on him. When he enters play, put each troop with a decoy counter on in your crypt into play, then remove the decoy counters from your troops you control. So this seems like a problem to me because if he counters it, it's not coming into play. So that seems like that's not working as intended. I'm still going to play it, but I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Anyways, here's what the deck looks like, and then I need to go to bed. But we've got the 3 charge bots. I was wondering if I should go with 4. I'm not sure. I was between 1 and 2 Dread Factories, so I've got this because it creates more dudes. It actually creates 2, so maybe I should be playing 2 of those. The 4 Senseis because they combo with our Monsoon to give us a little bit of card draw. The Botanist is a must. This never comes out because this creates Dreadlings every turn on turn 2, and then that basically allows us to power the rest of the deck. This guy I'm not sure if I need to be playing more of, especially with some of my top end being the Gallows Ghast and the Yakuzan. Maybe I should be playing 3 of these. It's hard to say. The problem is that we have to pay to make those Dreadlings, and most of the time we're trying to pay to do a lot of the other things in our deck. So more or less he just kind of becomes this dork that makes resources for us every turn. Of course, we talked about Monsoon at length. If you aren't playing 4 Monsoon in here, that's probably a problem. The Emerite, I feel like, has been pretty well. That was Armies in Mordor put that in, or told me that was probably a good idea for the deck, and I'd have to agree with them there because again, the spiders, it works with the spider portion of our Dreadlings. Grim Justice is going to kill the 2 drops, the popular 2 drops, and then bring one of ours back. Most likely, like a Sensei to draw us cards, or maybe a Botanist or something, or maybe even a Dreadling if we really are that hard up. Of course, Hierophant's the money card in the deck, and unfortunately, because of the way that we can only have 4 of each of these gem slots, I've got most of them gemmed this way with Intimidation, where if you're lower powered than them, you can't block them. Because we're playing all these Dreadlings to make them bigger anyways, and then Sacrifice, so we can sacrifice a Dreadling, or maybe sacrifice a Sensei that's been Monsooned, or something like that, or even sacrifice a Battle Hopper to make them a 5/5 right away, which is nice. Of course, we saw that in the first matchup I gave them flying, flying protection. I gave them steadfast. Oops, that was not on purpose. Don't touch anything. Okay. I gave them Skyguard and Steadfast versus Flyer. So they are very versatile. Plus, in that last matchup, he's playing the things with the gems. Like, if I have these guys in play, they have gems, so I won't sacrifice them. No problems there. But because of the way the gems work, I had to save one of these Intimidations for my Gallows Ghast. So instead, I just simply made it into Crush, which has a similar effect. Plus, it gives them more front end, which is nice. The Death's Head Rider, I'm back and forth about whether this guy should or shouldn't be in the deck. He does have Flight. He's a 2/3, which is a fair body. They have to sacrifice a troop, but they get to choose, so it just depends on the format, really. He's probably pretty good in the Mono Ruby matchup. Dormant One, I've been back and forth on how many of these I need. I went all the way down to 1, and then I saw how powerful it was. Even with Battle Hoppers, it makes Battle Hoppers it gives them a front end, which there's nothing to sneeze at. So right now I'm at 3, but this could fluctuate quite a bit. Hero Fall is a 3 of right now, but I think that you could easily play 4 of it. It's one of those things where it's just there's so many really good 4 ofs you need to Hero Fall that. Yeah, that's kind of a big deal. Ambusher is at a 1-drop. I don't think I would play more than one of these just because it's so slow, but it can get really big. We're playing a lot of bunnies. It only gets bigger if bunnies die. So it doesn't really do anything with our Dreadlings, but it can kill things that we can't kill otherwise. Like it can kill indestructible troops by giving them -X/-X. So it's very valuable to me in that it can kill things that most of my other kill spells can't deal with. Yakuzan, of course, gets rid of any permanent in play, which is it's super important to have this guy so you can actually have some main deck removal for constants and for a couple of artifacts as well. But for the most part, that's his job in this deck. And so if you don't think that's going to be a thing, or if it's going to be too slow, you saw I boarded him out. The Scrounge 3 can be a little bit tough too, and that's again another reason why you have to keep in your Dread Botanist. Moving on to the ends of the deck, of course, we got Gallows Gas again. This is just kind of like an end game fireball for the deck, so we just kind of play this. Can't be blocked very easily. A lot of times it's not a 4/4. A lot of times it's like at least a 7/7 or an 8/8. Most things are going to be lower power than that, so you give it Intimidation, and then of course Speed, so it can do all its damage right in one turn, and hopefully that can just finish the game and close the game out with you. This also can sit in your hand while all those Dreadlings are dying, and it just makes it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually you just kill your opponent with it. So sometimes the right choice is to just sit on this card as it keeps getting bigger, and then hit your opponent all at once with a really big Gallows Gas, because once you play it, it won't grow anymore. It won't get any bigger. And then Yakuzan, we saw in that last match, did a little bit of work for me. My opponent probably misplayed on it, because swinging with a life drain troop that, even if it's only 3 life drain, is kind of a big deal versus the control matchup. And putting in those random troops is kind of a big deal as well. And then reserves, basically, we've got life gainers that are dual removal. So we got the 2 Carnosaurus and the Cluckodon. One thing I did notice playing this last match today was that these up my thresholds to 2 wild, so these are the only things that do that. So just keep that in mind. It's not hard to get to, because the fixing is we have 12 fixing in here that basically can be wild or blood. So it should be fine to play those guys and not have a problem. There's another Emerite that also comes in that matchup, or we saw it also come in against control, because I can play it, and then Dreadlings are now doing damage and healing me. An extra hero fall versus decks that are heavy in troops, so any wild decks or like that diamond deck that we played against. Extinction against versus troops doesn't really hurt us very much with Monsoon and all the Dreadlings. Inquisition versus control. Again, I'm not sure if I want Inquisition or if I want to go with the spider version, because that kind of feels like that might be better for me, but I think Inquisition did some good job, good work there, even though it got countered. That still was kind of a big deal. And then Nature Reigns versus Artifacts and Constants, which I'm not sure how important having this type of removal is in the deck. I guess even in that control matchup, it would have been nice to have this removal for that artifact troop. So maybe if there's artifact troops out there, this works against those, but it also works against the constants if anybody is running what is it called, Soul Marble or something like that. It works versus that along with your Paw of Yakuzan. So there's the deck. I feel like it's in a good place. The curve feels like it's pretty good. Most of my things are 2-drops, so we can go on 2 shards, which always feels good. And we have good finishers. We saw that I just kind of sat on the game, and my opponent would clear the board, and I was just like, all right, well, I'll just keep dealing little points of damage here and there, and eventually I'm just gonna hit a card that's gonna finish the game out. So I feel pretty good about it. I might make a couple more tweaks before this weekend, but I think this is the deck I'm going to play. I'm pretty excited about it. So until next time, this is Aaron Squire signing off, saying God bless your families. Try not to rage too much out there.